Hi, hello, and welcome. I am so excited to get into today's video. As for what we're going to get into is a high school build. So just to preface a little, so our first challenge ever was the Widower's Challenge, and then she just had a baby she's had plenty of babies, but we're not going to talk about that. She's had a baby that we're going to be using for the Snow White Princess Challenge, and as to talk about that just a little, if you haven't actually watched the challenge, they have a lot of money, but Miss Widower doesn't particularly care or put a lot of thought into actually what her kids need. So I kind of imagine maybe even the government was just like, bah, bah, bah. Hey, your kids need to go to school, and this is the only school available left for them to go to, and that's just kind of this cheap, poor, not really upkept school is what I'm imagining they'd end up getting shoved into. And so I thought we'd build a school kind of surrounding that idea. So I think without any other explanation, I think we should start the build. Yes, so as you can see, I already started the exterior. This was the hardest part for me. Not only did I've already tried to build this school 3 times now, the exterior I still don't really love necessarily. I ended up kind of trying to base it off of my high school. I mean, I don't know if my school was definitely not the most wealthiest high school. I don't think it was the poorest, but I kind of wanted to base off the exterior similar to that. And my school was a square. I have to tell you that. It was basically a rectangle, but it was just a straight rectangle with this balcony up front, which I've never actually been onto, which I don't know, thinking back on it, I'm did I even try? Did I even care about that? But I don't know. I had doors and stuff, so people do want to go in this balcony. There's little seating you'll see in the future. But I don't know. So I just wanted to fast forward that part so you guys didn't have to watch the struggle of whatever 20-40 minutes of me just trying to build the exterior and what kind of look I wanted to do that. And so this is me just starting the interior design. I think you'll see really quickly that I've decided that this is already too big of a lot. Or not lot, but build. I wanted it to be really small, literally just the 2 classrooms. Just what you need. 2 classrooms, the professor's place, or not the professor, what do they call it? Oh my goodness. The people who professor rule the school. Principal. There we go. Hello. I remembered. I knew I could do it. And then the bathroom. Although I'm going to mention to you guys later on, the bathroom scenario is not the best scenario with this build, but it's a cheap school. So you'll find that out really fastly why it's not a good idea. So I did want the grand stairs scenario, which you see the 2 different side steps of the stairs. My school, though, literally was kind of, as in a rectangle, we could literally do one giant circle. That's the build of it, outside of the fact that the library was in the middle of one side, and the library was typically locked on certain times of the day because my school was very, very strict on the fact of you better be in your class. Oh, I could go on tangents with school. We were going back on one of our lives. We were just talking about what kind of person we were in high school, which if you guys want to share about that, or if you're in high school, or if you're about to go into high school, whatever age group you are, what is that? What was your experience like? What do you want it to be like? I do know Sims is a certain age limit, so don't be outsing yourself there. Don't be careful, okay? But yeah, so a lot of this build, I kind of stuck with the redder tones. I think the other thing that I kind of contemplated a lot, which you'll find out really quickly, is the wallpaper. Not necessarily how cheap did I want to go. I wanted to maybe do the werewolves pack is really good at making a lot more poor, but I don't know, I didn't want it to be that dingy in a sense. I wanted it to be broken down, worn down, but not to the point where it just kind of felt abandoned, I guess. It's not gonna be some abandoned school. Nobody's gonna let their kids go there. At least I hope not. I mean, hello, if the government's pounding on my door, but they better keep up with the school at least, to where I'm not questioning whether or not it's safe to even be there. So yeah, I ended up in the darker tiles for the werewolves, because all the other ones, it was really, really evident that they were just straight up missing tiles. Every 4 tiles, there was no tile there. So I didn't want it to be that bad. So the darker one hid the fact that it is cheaper, but there's still cracks within it that I liked and I wanted to keep up there. And then as for the brickings, I do have to mention with the high school brick, with the certain tiles that I ended up using on the exterior, I tried using the reds and the different colors, but they were just really bright, or I don't know, they just kind of looked funky to me. And I only like that tan color, or maybe even the light brick, but I ended up just using the red tone brick. It just kind of looked, I don't know, rough, but not too beat up. I don't know, if you guys you're oh, this is kind of cringe with it, let me know. But I like the way it ended up looking, so I'm gonna keep it for that for now. As for the archways and the doors, I do tend to use the darker gray tones just to complement it. And then we're finally getting into the principal's office. The principal's office is sad, might I say. They literally have a desk, the cheapest computer that everyone else has in the school, and not a whole lot of decoration. I think I just add a plant, like a calendar, and like a couple, maybe even like the trophy, because I was gonna add the trophy in there, like the trophy stand, like, because a lot of principals like to rep and like show off how good their school is doing, but their office is so small that I couldn't even fit the trophy case in their office, so that's gonna sit outside. But I try to find some type of doodads that they could have to add some personality to it. Like I said, I don't add a whole lot. I think it's literally just those 3 items in that room plus a plant. So, and then yeah, as you can see, that's where the trophy case, I'm just adding that in there. I don't know, I feel like I don't know if you have, did your school have a trophy case? Did it not? I feel like every school does. I don't think I paid attention to mine. I do know we had like certain like, I don't know. I do remember going to like the counselors and stuff like that to check in and make sure we're graduating on time. They did have like a lot of rewards and a lot of posters up of the school and achievements. So I feel like every school does. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it was just particulars. High school and all the movies and stuff don't teach you a whole lot about the rest of the world, does it? And so for the rest of the build, I think we're just adding, like, I wanted to add vending machines. I didn't want to add too many, so there's only 2 in the whole school. Like, the school is very, very tiny. I think it, like, literally has 12 students. I don't think a school will actually last with that many students, but in the Sims world, I'm imagining this is the size of a school will be. I mean, although I'm pretty sure that's as much as you can have in even the larger schools that you build. But, okay, just play with the mindset and the game that or movie that we're depicting. You just gotta follow. And for the kitchen, I do eventually make not kitchen, but the cafe, I eventually make it a bigger, just because the interior of that cafe was too small to even get seating. Like, okay, the school is small, but not that small. Not that small yet. I mean, I don't know. I would love to eventually do like a build challenge. It'd be just a silly thing, but I've noticed, like, with building a high school, it does not require you to have chairs. Like, where's my people gonna sit? Like, if I build with just the items that they say in the high school build up, like, what would you do during school? Like, would all the students just stand there? Would they go to the desk? Would they actually sit and, like, sit on nothing? Like, what ends up happening? Or does the whole thing just break because they don't ask you to put chairs in there? And then now we're just putting the little details of, like, lockers and whatnot. Like, not a whole lot. I just wanted it to fill the hallway. So, like, with the original layout and design, I wanted to make sure the hallways were thick enough. I feel like with all high schools that you have to have enough room for lockers and whatever. I don't know. The other thing that I really, really wanted, but we can't really do, is, like, drinking water fountains. Like, I was debating putting, like, I don't know, like, putting, like, a sink or something, but that would be really silly and ridiculous in The Sims, because then next thing you know, they're walking all the way to the sink just to do something random. But I just felt like water fountains is so common and typical within high schools that it should have been there. But it still make it work, I feel like. But for the rest, we're just adding, like, the broken chairs, which I do like that the high school pack does include, like, worn down desk. And I don't think the chairs look too worn down. They kind of do, which I like. I mean, there's certain things like the lockers I wish were a little more worn down. The columns could have been a little more worn down. Like, if I'm going to make a worn down school, like, how worn down can I actually make it without it looking like a brand new school? But thankfully they included those desks for those details. And this is just me making sure we have enough windows everywhere, because you know me, I tend to forget things. And as for the roofing, I ended up doing, like, a half wall. I do change it later on because I felt like it looked pretty bland. But I don't know. I still gotta experiment and test things, because I'm not a pro builder. I definitely don't ever want to quote myself to say that I am. But I do think I have a lot more to learn with it. And I do end up liking this build overall. Like, it got the idea and what the point that I wanted to come across with it. Although the lot is basically bare. It's butt naked. But I do add eventually, like, a bunch of trees and whatnot, which you guys will see once we get through this. But let's see, I think the rest is just making sure the floorings are there. I was just trying to think, okay, with the roofing and the tiling, we're just going to do concrete. It made no difference. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. I was just like, okay, what's the basic necessities that we could do? And then for upstairs, I was just trying to make it, because it bothered me that the stairs weren't necessarily on equal footing of the upstairs. But I kind of worked with it. It's because if I shrunk it on the one side of the balcony would have had to be, like, cut off weirdly, and I didn't want to change the stairs location because I've already completed the downstairs. So I kind of just said, okay, just live with it. Everything will be okay. And a lot of it is just I think for up here, I just basically add a bunch of bookshelves and then, like, little seating areas. Not too much. Like, literally when I was making this, I was kind of imagining, like, this school is, like, has, like, the same couple books. Maybe even the students don't necessarily go up to the library a whole lot. Although I'm imagining with Snow White, like, I feel like she'd like to read a whole lot. Maybe even fantasize. Maybe she'd be more artsy. Like, I don't know. Her character in the actual series, or not series, but the movie, was really young. Like, I need to figure out what it actually is as we play the series. Because I keep mentioning how young she is, but I don't remember the exact. But I don't necessarily know if she'd be a bookworm or anything. I know she loves animals. Like, she's supposed to be, like, this super sweet character. Although it's been a while since I've watched it. I did this challenge before on my own for the Princess Challenge. And I rewatched a lot of the movies. But I haven't watched them of lately for this particular challenge. Because I don't want it to be like, oh man, we have to do this part of the challenge. We have to include this part. So I think we're coming close to the end. It's just adding the chess tables and a couple of other doodads. And then after this, we're going to hop into the tour and just kind of see the final look of everything. Because I do add the exterior. I add, like, a basketball court. Just different things that we can include to make this school feel a little more finished. So I think, yeah, and I don't even know if I show you guys the part with me fixing the roof. But you guys will see that in the final tour. And hopefully we'll like. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I just felt like it was a really flat roofing, and I needed something in there to make it look a little more like a build. I don't know, like not fancy per se, but complete. I don't know, like less flat. That's literally all that came to mind when I was making this build. I was like, okay, how can I do that to make it look less flat? So that's as descriptive as it'll get. And I think for the coloring, it was just like I just chose a red flat. Like there's like a red tiling, so you guys will see that, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, to start the tour off, this is kind of how we ended up looking. I love it. I mean, you guys seen the majority of it throughout the time lapse, but just to give you a quick final look of the inside. So as soon as you put that plant back. Thank you. As soon as you enter, you just kind of have these like our lockers, a generic seating area before you enter the principal's office, trophies, 2 vending machines. Like the school doesn't have a whole lot. That's what we wanted. And classroom 1, a very teeny tiny cafeteria. There's not a whole lot of students that get to go to this school. And here is our second classroom along with the bathroom. So there's only 2 stalls, so hopefully that won't end up being a problem. I hope not. If not, like I can add that in later. And then upstairs is just kind of an open study area, our library with chess tables and PCs, which I know not a lot of people like computers within their gameplays, especially public lots, because that's where all the Sims love to go to. I don't really necessarily care. Maybe it adds to the storyline. If you guys do and you guys want to end up downloading this, just delete those. You can just leave them as empty desks. Maybe for study spots, because I feel like every school needs a spot to study. Do your homework at in an isolated location. And yeah, like I said, not a whole lot for this build here we got going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And that is that for our high school build, which I enjoyed so much, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below if you guys have done any high school builds and what did you guys end up basing that off of. I am so excited to see where this village goes and grows. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!